welcome to Yoga with Carolyn. Today we're going to do stretches for runners. So this is just a small little segment for runners. It can be done after we've ran. It can be done before, but if you do it before, I recommend a few sun salutations that we are not going to do today. So I'm going to base this more towards the end of a run after you've gotten home, and this is a little bit deeper stretches for that. So with that, let's start out by sitting up tall. We're really going to connect to those sit bones and lengthen. And I want you to check in with your hips specifically. How do they feel? Are our knees resting nicely on the floor? Or do they feel like they're up by your ears and they just won't go down? If we feel that way today, grab a blanket and have a seat. We will also need a strap. So your choice if you don't have a yoga strap. I won't give options. You don't absolutely need a strap either. But bathrobes, ties, and belts will work just as well. And since you're not going out right now, maybe a tie. I don't know. Depends on how long your legs are. With that, let's sit up tall. So with running, we want to connect with our breath, right? It's about that breathing. So I want you to really allow that belly to rise and fall as we rest the palms in our lap. We're just going to do 3 breaths here. One more. And after that third exhale, we're going to sweep those arms above our head and reach that right arm over and out. Oh. Really breathe. Again, those little muscles in between our ribs, we want to breathe into them. Open them up, expand them today. Inhale. Exhale, sliding that left hand, reaching over. Now keep that right sit bone glued to the mat. If you're like me, you got really tired in the upper body after a long run, let's take those arms above our head. Inhale, exhale, just let those hands float down. We're going to come up onto our hands and our knees, finding our way into our tabletop position. So my back a lot of times tends to be tight after I run. So we're just going to do a cat-cow series and release our back. So rooting down through our fingertips, let's inhale, take our chin and chest forward. As we exhale, rounding, drawing our navel to our spine. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale as we round. Just flowing back and forth. We're going to do this a few more times. Just connecting our breath, noticing our back. One more time. Exhale, round, and then inhale. Let's come back to that tabletop position. From here, we're going to take our right foot back. Now, I'm going to just turn sideways just a little bit. So my hands are over my shoulders to begin with. My foot drops back, but I'm going to shift back, getting a calf stretch here. We have 2 muscles in our calf. This does the other muscle. The down dog does one, and this one does the other. Let's release. I'm pretty sure this is for our soleus. Drop back. Not pretty sure, am sure. So I am pushing my weight back into that heel. If you're on your mat, it keeps your toes from slipping, which is perfect. Now we're going to come back to our center, or come back to our tabletop. From our tabletop, let's curl under our toes, step our feet back. We're going to make our way into our down dog. In our down dog, we want to start to open the chest just a little bit as we open up and lengthen our calves. So let's bend our right knee, take our left toe to the ground, and alternate. Now, how is this opening my chest? Well, my shoulder blades are starting to move onto my back. My heart is melting towards my thighs as we paddle out our feet. Oh, very nice. Now we're going to come into our down dog, drop back into our heels. Let's step our left foot in between our hands. We're going to just drop down to that right knee. I think I'm going to come a little more sideways for you. So my left knee is over my ankle. I'm going to lengthen just a little bit and feel that in that right hip. Now, I can hang out here all day long. I can even come up onto my knee. I'm not adding the arms because we'll be tired after we run. Now, I'm going to give you some variations. Stay here or come with me. Coming back down onto the floor. I'm going to turn my left toes out and I'm going to actually scooch them A little bit at a time, over to the side of my mat. Now, we can hang out here or drop to those forearms. So what this is doing is getting my my right hip, but my left inner thigh. Now I'm going to draw my navel up and in just enough to protect my lower back. Now again, this is just one of the variations. We can stay up here. We can even turn our foot out and stay up here. If we have a block or a book, we can't quite make it to our forearms, we can place that underneath. Now let's slowly come back. Now I'm going to leave my left foot where it is. I'm going to bend my right knee, reach back with my left hand. My left leg goes a little bit straight enough so I can bring it forward. So this is getting higher into that hip, the top of the quad. Now we can look over that left shoulder. Again, all extra options. Please listen. It's been a super long run. Maybe we don't go as deep. Maybe we just ease into it today. And let's slowly release. We're going to curl back under our right toes. Our left foot is going to step back. We're going to find that down dog. And again, we can pedal our feet. We can rock our hips side to side. Whatever feels really good right now. And then we're going to step our right foot in between our hands and we're going to come down onto that left knee. Again, I'm dropping into my hip, hanging out here, or if I'd like to, I can come up here. I have a lot of requests for hips. This is just my runners, which is really good for your hips. Now we have options. Stay there. Come with me back down. Turn the toes out. Don't turn the toes out. Walk the toes out. Don't walk the toes out. It's really up to us. And each one of us is going to be different. We all have different running styles. We all have different our bodies are tight in different places. Now, maybe I walk to my forearms. And maybe I don't. So from here, I'm going to again make sure that my navel is, my belly is engaged enough that my lower back doesn't take over. And let's say you need this stretch a little bit longer than we're going to hold it. Pause the video, finish, and then come back with us. And one more breath here. And then let's start to walk ourselves back up. So again, I'm going to straighten my right leg a little bit, bend my left knee, reach back with my right hand, dropping into it. Now, why do I reach with my opposite? It's easier for balance. So I could do this, but it's a little more unbalanced. I like to be balanced, especially when I'm going to try to get in deep. Oh, I can look over that right shoulder. How are we doing? Are we feeling the run, feeling the stretches? I got a big run coming up this weekend, so here we'll get ready. Slowly release. Now we're going to curl back under those toes. Step our right foot back. Find our down dog. Now we're going to step our left foot in between our hands. We're going to pivot on our right toes to a 90-degree angle, and we're going to come all the way up. So we're going to do a triangle. We're going to keep our length. So let's extend our arms out to our shoulders. Reach that rib cage as far forward as we can. And from there, we're just going to tip. So the crown of the head, the tailbone, everything is lengthening. Now this right arm is reaching up. The left arm is reaching down. Now here's where I can add. If I know I'm a rounded person when I run, I can drop my right hand to my lower back and allow that right shoulder to really open. We're not going to stay here too long. I know our legs are tired. So let's take that right arm up. Bend that left knee, plant that right hand, step the left foot back. Again, find our down dog. We can pedal out our feet. We can rock our hips side to side. And then let's step that right foot in between our hands. Pivot on our left toes. Right hand coming all the way up. Arms at our shoulder height. Let's reach that right rib cage forward. Take that right hand down. Reach that left arm up. Again, if you're like me, you know you're a rounder, you can take that left hand to the back, allow that left shoulder to really open. So just taking note here, are we tight? How are those hips? Maybe those shoulders are really enjoying this. Now we're gonna exhale, release our left hand, curl under our left toes. Right foot is gonna step back. Find a down dog again. And then let's bring our right knee behind our right wrist. So if my knees need a little extra love today, I'm gonna keep my heel in nice and close. If my knee feels good and my glutes can handle it, I'm gonna bring my shin parallel to the front of my mat. This left leg is reaching straight back. I can walk those toes. We're gonna inhale, lengthen, hang out here. So I hopefully am getting a big stretch in that left hip. Now we're gonna start to fold. Now I can stay there, that is option number one. Here's option number two, is folding. Make sure, see I have weight in both sides. If you place something on my back right now, it wouldn't roll to the right or the left, and that's what I'm looking for you. Now, we can start to push the toes of the right foot, just the toes, into our mat, protecting that knee here. Now, let's go back to our breath. Are we holding it? Are we breathing? This is one of my favorite. Let's give it 2 more breaths right here. After that second exhale, no rush, we're gonna start to walk back up. We're gonna end up in that down dog position again. So curl under our left toes and step that right foot back. Drop back into our heels. And let's bring that left shin forward, placing the left knee behind the wrist as we uncurl our right toes. So let's get this left leg situated. Do we need to keep that heel in? Or can we bring that shin a little more parallel? Again, those hips are even. We're gonna stay up on our fingertips or the palms. Lengthen, big stretch in that right hip. Now let's say you're really, really enjoying this and I move on. Again, pause the video and hang out here. And then start it back up when you're ready. Now, option number one or option number two, coming down onto those forearms. How are we doing? We doing all right? So maybe one day our run is not as long as another, and we don't feel that our stretches need to be as long as another. So again, we can pause. I wouldn't say speed up. Now we're gonna slowly come back up. We're gonna curl back under those right toes. We're gonna take our left foot, drop back into our heels. Now we're gonna come forward, all the way lowering to our bellies. Now we're gonna press the tops of our feet into our mat, slide our hands back on either side of our chest. We're gonna start to lift our head and our chest, and if it works, we're coming all the way up for a cobra. In our cobra, we want that back bend, so we wanna draw those shoulders on our backs and away from our ears, soft elbows. Core is lifted as we lengthen again, get that strength in the core and the lengthening in the hip flexors. And then we're gonna press back. We're gonna take our knees nice and wide and just sink back for child's pose for 2 breaths. And let's come all the way forward. We're gonna come to seated. Now we're gonna extend. I don't love 2-legged forward folds, but I know that potentially we're super tight in our hamstrings. They've worked hard for us. So we're gonna just single it out, and then I've got a special treat with the strap at the end. So let's go ahead and extend our right leg, draw our left heel in. Sweeping our arms up, shoulders are square over that leg, and find that fold. Feel the lengthening in the spine. We're not rounding to reach the toes. We're staying long. Let's come all the way up. Take our hands behind us. Let's point our toes and just lift up through our hearts. Again, reopen that chest. Slowly release. Let's extend that left leg. Draw that right heel and sweep those arms up. Inhale, exhale, lengthen. And our hands can reach on the side. Now let's say our hands reach our toes. We can grab those toes and get a little extra in that calf. But remember, that's just extra. How we doing? Feeling those hamstrings? Okay, now we're gonna come all the way up. Exhale as we release. Come bring those fingertips behind us, point our toes, lifting up. So again, it's just opening up the chest. And slowly bring it back. Now we're gonna extend both of our legs and we're gonna sit up top. So the goal is to keep our shoulders over our hips in this next one. We're gonna draw our right knee to our chest. We're just gonna hug it. Our left foot is gonna flex. We're gonna take the left hand on the outside of our right foot and we're gonna extend. Maybe bring it across the midline of our body. And this right hand is either gonna help us, especially if we feel like we're falling back, we're gonna leave it there. Or if it really is good, we're gonna reach that right fingertips to the back. So a little twist, hold out of IT bands. And slowly release. Now we're gonna cross that right leg over the left, and we're gonna extend it through our left arm. As we exhale, let's twist. So we're gonna stay lengthening. So this time our focus is just the twist, especially if we didn't get it last at the end of the other pose. So nice to twist everything out. Helps release our back. And then slowly unwind. Let's extend out through that right leg. Draw that left knee in. Again, we want to stay over our hips, over our shoulders, over our hips. I don't want your hips over your shoulders right now. We're going to take that right hand on the outside of that left foot. We're pushing out. Maybe bring it across. Now let's say I only feel it in my hamstring. I can soften the knee. I am looking for the IT band, which goes from my hip to my ankle. So again, upright. Maybe reach that left hand back. Right foot is flexed. It just helps us balance, right? Are we breathing? This is usually when we hold our breath in. Now let's cross that left foot over. Reach up through that right hand. Inhale as we exhale, twist. Keep that lengthened. So this is just about releasing, right? And slowly release. So we're going to make our way to the front edge of our mats. Make sure your strap is handy. Just place it off to the side. And we're going to roll down nice and slow. I'm going to turn sideways so I can still see this. So again, back bends are going to be important when we run, right? Not necessarily right when we run, but we want to make sure that we've hit the opening of the chest. So I want to roll our right shoulder blade under and then our left. Our hands are going to come down on either side of our hips and just flip the palms to face down. My knees should be over my ankle. We're going to lift up for bridge. So we're pressing through our heels, activating our glutes, lengthening our spine so our knees can go towards our toes and then open up the chest. You can bend at the elbows. Really want to open that chest. Take our hands behind our backs. Now let's check in with our body and make sure our knees, ankles, and hips are all lined up. Really activate. One more breath and then slowly release. Now we're going to cross our left knee on our right knee. And we're going to draw our knees to our chest. So my ankle is not on my knee is on my knee. I'm going to grab the tops of the feet, the knees. I'm going to draw our body. So this is a big, big glute stretch. Amazing for runners. So again, I can have my hands on my feet, my shins, or up at the knees. Now we're going to make sure that that lower back is not lifted. We're sinking it into the ground. One more breath here. And then let's switch. Again, if you need longer, take it. Just breathe. We switch. Our hands are gently drawing our feet into our body. And one more big breath. Slowly release. So we're going to grab our strap here. And we're going to place our strap around the right foot. Now I'm going to place it towards the ball of my foot because I want my calf. If the calf is too much, slide the strap towards the arch. Now I'm going to lengthen. I'm going to let my elbows come down to the ground so my shoulders aren't stressed out. My left leg can be straight, it can be bent. breathe right here. Notice that hamstring. How does it feel after the run? Now we're going to take the strap into the right hand. Take that right leg over to that right side. My left hip is glued to the mat. Let's bring that foot back to the center. We're going to take the strap into our left. I'm going to keep my right hip on the ground. Slightly bring that left leg. Again, my IT band is going to fill it. Maybe bring it over more. I can bring it all the way. I lose the IT band, which is my focus, if I go too far. So just hang out here with me if you like. Now, how do I know I've gone too far? I'm holding my breath. Simple answer. Let's come back. We're holding our breath. It's taking our breath away, then we need to back out. So we're going to switch. Bring the strap onto the left. Again, towards the toes, the ball of the foot, going to give me more calf. Arch of the foot's going to give me less. I want a little more. Can extend the right leg. Keep it on the ground. So my left side is tighter than my right. It's not as easy to get in here. Bring the elbows to the floor. Keep the stress out of the shoulders. Still breathing. Now we're going to take that strap into that left hand, take it out to that left side. Right hip is glued to the mat. You can place your right hand on your hip. Make sure it's still there. I'm going out and up as much as I can. Let's bring that foot back to the center. We're going to take that strap in that right hand and just bringing it across. Start out with just a few inches to begin with. That left hip still on the ground. You can flex the foot. That'll take the IT band down towards the ankle. Maybe a little bit more. And if it really feels good and I don't lose the IT band stretch, I can take it into a deeper twist. Give me one more big breath here. And let's bend the left knee. We're going to bring both knees into our chest. Sometimes we get super tight in that lower back, so we can just rock back and forth. And then when we're ready, we're going to rock up to that seated position, sitting up tall. We're going to draw those shoulders down our backs again. And let's inhale, sweep those arms up. As we exhale, let's draw our hands to our heart center. And thank you all so very much for sharing your yoga practice with me today. The Divine Light in me honors and acknowledges the Divine Light in you. Namaste. Happy running. Remember to subscribe and like. Share with your friends. Let's get everybody stretched out.